Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby dooby dooby doop doop doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down.
Hey, Natalie. Hey. Excuse me there.
Oh, hi. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
Oh, hey, could you just put your book down?
Oh, sure.
We're getting ready to do a podcast.
Sorry. I was just catching up on the golden treasure of poetry.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I'm impressed. I know how dedicated you are to
Well, you know how
reading.
deep I am. I'm very deep.
You are. You're very deep. Hi,
I'm
honey. Hi,
so
Natalie.
deep that people don't I have to tell people that I'm deep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a given.
That's
that we all
when
have
you know
to.
you're deep.
That's when you know.
Anywho, how you
Hi.
doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How's your Sunday?
My Sunday's going great. I know I told you that we had to wait a little bit longer to do the podcast today because I had things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I had very badly to do, couple things. One was I had to do all of the New York Times puzzles because that's just what I do.
Oh, I know.
And I have to schedule time for myself because it's very important to me.
I wish they were harder.
Yeah, if only they were a little bit harder.
They make me feel like annoyed.
So smart.
Yeah,
because
you do a real crossword here.
Because you
Go on.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite finished with the Sunday puzzle, but that's okay. But I did do the spelling bee and the Wordle and the letterboxed and the one that's called category. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so I did that, and then I made some pasta for Frank and I.
Oh,
It was
that's
really good
nice.
with some pesto. It was really nice.
I love a pesto.
And then we watched a really good documentary about Mount St. Helens. So that's been my day.
Wow.
I know.
Remember
Mount
when I
St.
was really
Helens.
into Mount Everest docs?
Were you?
Yeah. Don't you remember that? It's all I would talk about for 9 months.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
What was your obsession with it?
I just was obsessed with it was when all these Mount Everest documentaries were coming out, and I was obsessed with it, and I just talked about Mount Everest for 9 months. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, yeah. So today, Natalie, welcome everybody to Put Your Books Down.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here with us. And just as a reminder, if you are enjoying this show, just go ahead and give us a like, give us a subscribe, watch us on YouTube.
Please like us. We need it.
Please like us. Just a reminder.
Like us.
We love that you're all here. And Natalie and I have something very fun picked out for you today, everybody who's listening. We are going to, this episode is called I Feel Seen. I feel seen.
I feel seen.
I feel seen. Seen as in SCENE or /SEEN. And so, did I spell seen right the first time? SCENE.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So today we're going to talk about some of our favorite scenes in movies that appeal to particular emotions that we have. For example, this one makes me feel the cringiest. This one makes me laugh the hardest. And I feel like it's the ones that really hit us close to home that we're just like, oh my God, that is the most. It's the most whatever. Yeah.
And there's so many to choose from. So what we have done is our best. And I feel like every time this happens, it's when we're done, I'm like, damn, I know. I should have said this other thing. But anyway.
Well, we can keep the list
Angela
going.
Doing our best. Yeah.
Yeah. We can keep the list going forever.
Sure.
So so we picked some categories and I tried to find some for these categories. And then I maybe had one other category that wasn't the one you picked, but that's fine. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Well, why don't you pick a feeling?
Okay.
And then I'll go with one of mine.
Okay. Let's get the first one right out of the gate. What is the scene from a movie that just makes you question humanity in general? You're just like, what the heck? This just makes me question humanity. Why?
Okay.
Yeah, tell me.
It's from Lord of the Flies.
Oh God. Well, the book itself.
It's when they kill Piggy and put his head on a stick. And it's kids killing kids.
It's
Yeah. That was when I was like, I remember.
Yeah.
I read the book, but then I also watched the movie for like a book report.
Yes.
And when I watched the movie, it just like really hammered in that scene. Really was like, I was like, oh my God, kids kill kids.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yes.
No one's off limits.
No one's off limits.
Kids killing kids.
Babies killing babies.
Each other? Because we're kids.
I know.
Why are we killing? We're supposed to go ride our bikes.
It really is like the precursor to like Hunger Games. It's like it's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah. It's rough.
It's rough. Whenever you have kids killing kids, it's not good. Yeah. Well, I took you down like a real delightful path for our first one. But
hey guys.
So my one that made me question humanity was just the whole first of all, I had two of these. The first one is just the human centipede. Like, why does that even exist? I question all of humanity just for the fact that that even exists. And I'm not even going to go into it, people. If you don't even know what it is, it's fine. Just the fact that it's ever been thought up, that somebody even thought that up, I'm just like, what is going on? Okay. But the other thing that makes me question humanity.
Did you see
what?
It, Angela?
No, I didn't. Okay. I'm never, we've talked about this before. I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The other one that makes me think that kind of along those lines is Silence of the Lambs, the scene where you see Buffalo Bill donning the skin suit. And Angela, he's like, what?
My other scene is from Silence.
Oh my God, right, because it's so disturbing. Like it's disturbing all the way through.
So yours is when he's wearing the coat or like he's sewing the coat together?
The skin suit, yeah. And then he's like,
skin.
And he's all, I'd do me. And he's like,
goodbye, horses. Yeah. I'm dying.
Yeah, and I'm like,
you. It's that scene.
Exactly. And I'm like, why did somebody think this up? That's what makes me question humanity. And then I'm like, well, somebody thought this up because they let their imagination run wild from things that have already happened. So that's why it's easy to think it up.
That's right, because they didn't make it up.
Right, because it's like an amalgam of things that could have happened.
So mine was when Jodie Foster talks to Hannibal Lecter, and she's like, he's like sizing her up, and she's like, does that make, are you like, she's kind of talking shit back to Hannibal Lecter, and then he gets back to her and he's like, does the whole I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice candy. But gross. I watched that. It was 1991. I watched that, and I remember that scene when I was little, obviously, because there's no sex scene, so we were allowed to watch it with our parents.
Right.
And I was like, people
Sanderson
eat
family
people.
Rule.
Yeah. People eat people. Not only do kids kill kids, people eat people.
Eat people.
Are the unluckiest people in the world. I just came up with that right now.
It really is like, though, people who eat people are the hungriest
people. Yeah, and we're not making fun of cannibalism. It's just
yes, we are. We're allowed to make fun of. You know what, Natalie? We're making fun of cannibalism, and I'm just going to stand by it.
You're right. Okay? You're right.
All right. So the other section, emotion, whatever. Okay. Is I want to hear from you, Natalie. Tell me the scene that basically, if you had to choose, what's the scene that makes you like, it's a day maker? Like it just made my day. Like, oh, hell yes. Section. It made my day. Did you have one of those? Couple. Okay. Yep. Let me hear them.
Well, they're, everybody's different. Everybody's brains are different. So things that make one person's day aren't going to make the other.
That's really true. Yeah.
But a lot of my day makers can be with like super funny too. But something I will watch when I get to work, if I'm like, my day's not going well, I'm going to watch this, is the scene from Money Pit when the bathtub falls out of the ceiling and lands and Tom Hanks starts doing that laugh.
It is. Like,
I mean, that whole thing. Yeah, that whole laughing scene.
That is a day maker
for me.
For sure, that's a day maker.
What about you?
My day maker for me is like if I'm having a hard time and I need to like have myself feel better about anything, or like I'm venturing off into some new thing, it's always the scene from Sound of Music where she's left the Abbey and she's gonna go become the nanny for these kids, and she's carrying her guitar and she's like, "I have confidence in sunshine," and she's like singing with her guitar, and she's so full of life and so excited and so happy and so like, "I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I can
Yours
do it."
is
It's like that.
so empowering.
It's so empowering, and she's so cute, and she's like doing Irish jigs in the air, and she's like flipping her little skirt around, and
She's
I
like,
just love
"Ain't
it.
nothing gonna ruin this day for me."
Exactly. She's like, "They will mind me." Like, it's just so good. I just love it. It just makes my day every time. If I'm having a bad day, if I just watch that scene, I'm just like, "Okay, yeah,
Well,
Julie,
that's
you got me."
speaking of musicals,
Yeah.
another thing that makes my day is
Oh.
the medley scene from Moulin Rouge
Oh, yeah. I know you love that.
with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman doing
Yep.
all of the medleys
Mm.
of like, you
All the
know,
songs.
well, yeah, like "Love lifts us up where we belong," and she's like, "Get down from there," and then like, but that whole scene, which by the way, side note, Scott had never seen it, so we watched the first half of it yesterday, and he wasn't hating it, which I don't trust people that don't
Yeah.
love that movie, but
So you don't
well,
trust me because I was like, had
I
a hard
know,
time with it. Yeah.
I know. I don't think you've seen it enough. I think that's the problem.
Probably so,
Mhm.
probably
Do you
so.
have another day maker?
I just had that
Oh,
one.
good,
That was
because
just
I
the
do.
one. Yeah, give me yours.
The scene from Superbad where Michael
Oh,
Cera has to
I haven't
sing
seen
"These
it.
Eyes." These eyes, do 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 do. Like these drunk people
Yeah.
make him as a teenager perform at a party.
Oh my
These
god.
eyes, he's like do 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 do. I mean, because he's worried he's about to be beat up, so he's like,
Oh
"Wanna
my.
hold you all night." You haven't seen that?
I have not seen that movie.
You've
Can you
never
believe I
seen
have?
Superbad?
I haven't. I know. Do I need
That
to
whole
quit?
movie is a day maker.
Do I need to quit the podcast?
No, no, no,
Okay. Whew.
no. I'm jealous.
Whew.
But
Yeah,
that
I
whole
need to
movie is
see
a
it.
day maker, and you need to just log in on my Apple. I own it, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
Well, I've been meaning to watch that for a long time, but I heard it was like really,
It's,
really, really raunchy. So I was like, is it really raunch?
I mean, it's, yeah, it's pretty raunchy, but
Do you have somebody in the peanut
do I have
gallery
my
over there?
commentary back? Yeah.
We need to give that man a microphone.
I mean, is
Scott,
this put your books down +1?
it is. I love it. I love hearing the comments in the background. Hi,
Oh,
Scott. We love
yeah. Hey,
you. Okay.
Scott.
So
Pick
okay. Well, I'm gonna
another.
watch that.
Yeah,
I
you
love
need to
it
watch that
when
movie. It's so funny.
we had something like that recently this week because I started watching Dawson's Creek, and you were like,
Yes, DC Night.
"I can't believe you've never," because I had never watched any of
Oh,
Dawson's Creek, and you were like, "I'm excited for you like a little schoolgirl because
yes.
I can't believe you're watching this." But I have
Every
to say, I
Wednesday
am
night in
enjoying
high
it.
school, my friend,
Mhm.
we had DC Night, which was
Yeah.
e I did not miss a Wednesday night for
I
New Dawson's Creek.
I
Love it.
love that. I
It's a
love
great
it.
show.
So I'm gonna go right into the next one,
Alright.
which is the scene that is just
Wait, which feeling?
it's the devastating.
Oh, here we
What
go.
is the scene that is just absolutely devastating for you? I have mine. Do you want me to tell you what mine is?
Yeah.
Wilson dies. Okay?
Gotta block that out. Oh my god, I blocked that out.
Wilson dies. The
Oh my
stupid
god.
ball. The
The
stupid ball.
volleyball, I completely blocked that out because that is absolutely devastating. I was scream crying in the theater
Okay,
as Castaway,
it is
Wilson, the volleyball, drifts off. His only friend,
it is absolutely
Wilson. Oh
devastating.
my good god.
You forgot about it, right?
Oh, no, I didn't forget. I blocked it
You
out.
blocked it out. Well, and let me tell you something. So Natalie, everybody, I had told her like a few years ago that I think it was during the pandemic, like in 2020.
Mhm.
You were like, "I'm so sorry. What? You haven't seen Castaway?" And I'm like, "Well, I've seen scenes of it." You're like, "No, you have to watch the whole thing from beginning to end, okay? And then
Just
let me know what you
once.
think."
But just
And
once.
and so I texted Natalie at like when Wilson dies, and I'm like, "Natalie, I hate you.
I
Are you
know.
mad at me? Like, are
You
you mad at me?"
whore.
I was
Yeah.
like, I really was. I was like, "Are you seriously? Are you mad at me? I hate you
It's a
because I
rite
am
of passage.
devastated."
It's a
It
rite
is.
of passage.
It's a rite of passage. Yeah, yeah. So
Just is.
Wilson dies. It was just
God,
wow.
I'm
Anyway,
okay.
okay. So what was your devastating scene?
I have 2.
Okay.
Well, Brokeback Mountain, the scene with Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, "Wish I Knew How to Quit You,"
Yeah.
and Heath Ledger breaks down. He's like, "Why don't you then? Why don't you just leave me be?
Oh,
'Cause I'm no one, I'm nowhere." And then he like drops down, and Jake Gyllenhaal like he is like, "It's not your fault," and basically like hug him and stuff. I mean, that whole movie's beautiful,
It's
but that scene, you're just like,
you should just be together. Oh my God, why is it so hard? Yeah. So sad.
Yeah. Do you have another devastation
I
station?
don't. I only chose one, so.
Well, my other one
Yes.
is from Up Close and Personal, starring Robert Redford and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
One of my favorite love stories.
I love that movie.
I love that. It ain't right though. It's almost like
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Okay, it's like sadistic. It's a beautiful love story with these journalists, and then. And by the way, if we haven't prefaced this, this is full of spoilers for movies.
Oh yeah,
if you haven't seen them.
This is like major spoils.
And when he goes off to do the story in Panama, and there's a shooting, and he knows that he didn't make it because she saw his shoes. When you see the shoes, you know he is dead as a doornail. Super dead. Really, really dead.
My strength when I was weak.
You were my strength. I couldn't rewatch the whole movie, so I just watched the music video, the Celine Dion music video that really just summed it all up.
It
does.
It really does.
It cuts to the chase. You get the vibe just from the Celine Dion music video, Because You Love Me.
And you can
from
do
Up
the
Close
backup.
and Personal.
God. Okay. So what was the scene for you that was like the most validating? Like it's a validation. I'll tell you what mine is right off the bat.
Okay, go.
Oh, you have several. I only have one. So you're going to, okay. So mine is Big Mistake. Huge. That's mine.
Pretty Woman.
That's a Pretty Woman. Like, didn't
tell me why that validates you. You work on commission, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember me? I was in here yesterday and you wouldn't wait on me. You work on commission, right?
Yeah. Do the rest. Yeah, exactly.
Huge. I have to go shopping now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because, I just shallow people drive me insane. So of course you're just rooting for the underdog in that movie, and you're just like, okay, so you can put the clothes on her, and now do you like her because she looks better?
Right.
Like,
and calling her an underdog in that movie, even when she's wearing that fabulous onesie outfit with the cutouts on the side. I mean, let me tell you something. If I could wear those boots with that onesie outfit, I would have not needed to go shopping.
Right. Well,
if I could pull that off.
Right. But you know what I'm saying.
In this day and age.
In this economy,
I would do it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like, I don't like shallow people like that either. They just,
because
you could suck.
You could walk into a place and be very poorly dressed and have like a lot of money.
You could have a buttload of money
to spend. They don't know.
Help. You need some styling tips.
Yeah. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you're just like literally just need something for like someplace you're going and you know how to get dressed, but that particular day you didn't get dressed. But that doesn't mean that you don't know how to get dressed when it's time to get dressed. But apparently you're supposed to be totally dressed up when you go shopping, even though you're not even ready for the thing you're going to get ready for.
Wow.
Powerful,
powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I think that also those women, she walked in and she was already like too cool and too good looking that they were like, if we give her this like classy makeover, we're toast.
Yeah, that's probably true.
She's
jealousy.
Jealousy.
Yep. Okay, so tell me yours.
Kills the man. Okay. So my validators are, this one's my goofy one. And it's not to a T, but I mean a little bit. It's from Superstar, starring Molly Shannon, about Mary Catherine Gallagher when she's talking to the tree and kissing it. And I'm pretty sure I kissed a tree when I was like 8 and was talking to it and kissed it because I was so shy, and I think I kissed a tree to see because I didn't know what kissing was like. And this is also, if anyone's still listening to this episode at this point, you're welcome, because that's a deep dive.
I love
I
that
felt so validated because I was like, when I saw that movie, it's hilarious. But I was like, people talk to trees. People kiss trees.
Yes.
You can kiss a tree when you're little. I mean, you kiss a tree now. But her scenes are like super intense and gets like way more hardcore than what mine was. But I was like, I pecked a tree. It was like pretending that it was a boy and like me talking to him, be like, stop making me laugh. But no, you stop. And then I think I pecked the tree.
Okay, I don't have any words for that other than that is adorable. Like, that is beyond adorable. Like, adorable.
I didn't know if it was. I didn't know if we had already got into our cringe No,
no,
that is
that's
adorable
not
to you?
cringe for me. That's just sweet. That's
No.
just sweet. That just says a lot about your heart,
I definitely did that. Not to her
Oh.
level, but when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah. Okay, keep
What a
going, keep going.
relief.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, what a
The
relief.
scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Leonardo DiCaprio, pretty much his character in that whole movie validates me.
Yeah.
But there's 2 scenes. So there's one where in the beginning he has this like big talk with Al Pacino, like a movie exec, and he plays this like not has been, but this actor who's trying to like reboot his career essentially.
Right.
And he's talking to Brad Pitt and he's like, and Brad Pitt's like, "What happened in there?" He's like, "Well, it's official, old buddy. I'm a has-been." He's like, "What are you talking about? You were not." He was like, What did he tell you?" He's like, "He told me the goddamn truth is what he told me." And that's how I felt when I was moving back to Little Rock, which is not warranted. But I was like, I'm going to come here. I've been in New York for this many years. I'm coming back to Little Rock. And I'm like, everyone's like, "Oh, you're here." So, and I'm like,
I'm a has-been.
I'm a has-been. And like, that was like, I used to do that with Pete, like that bit all the time. And I was like, it's official, old buddy. I'm a has-been. That scene, and then the scene where he messes up his lines when he's at this job and he goes into his trailer and he has a complete meltdown. And this is what I relate to this because this is how I feel when I'm hungover.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, you suck. You couldn't have, you had 3 tequila sodas last night. You couldn't have 1, you couldn't have 2. Let's be honest. You had 5 tequila sodas last night. You couldn't have had 3. Look at you, and nobody thinks you know what you're doing. And like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, if you don't do this right, if you don't take this day on, you're gonna blow your brains all over that swimming pool. Which is not how far I take it, but it's that scene where he's like, like he's just shaming himself, flipping out. I'm like, that's my brain when I'm hungover and I'm feeling like a complete loser failure.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's exaggerated. It's supposed to be funny.
I don't want you to feel bad. I mean, that's terrible.
It's every hangover. Everybody gets the scaries.
Right.
That's like the scaries.
Oh, the scaries. Yeah. Okay.
You know, like Sunday scaries are like hangover anxiety.
Yeah. Okay. That's as long as we're not taking it too serious.
No.
Seriously.
And then,
okay.
Well, and then there's a scene. I was very validated in movies. It's pretty much made up who I am.
Yeah.
The one in Birdman with Emma Stone talking to Michael Keaton about being relevant and like how none of us matter. Like you don't matter, I don't matter. Get used to it. Love that because I feel like I have to say that to myself a lot. Like I don't matter that much. Like so and so's not talking to me or doing this because anything to do with me. Like people go through their own stuff. Like I don't matter that much, which is so important actually and relieving. It should be a relief to people.
Well, but it's like when
check yourself.
Check yourself because you're not special. Like you're just going through something that
none of us matter that much.
But I mean, we do matter. It's
but
the
not
language
as much to revolve your life around and like other people's choices and other people's decisions that it's based around you.
Yes.
Who are we? We're no one's that important. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, another way to put that is
personally.
Another way to put that is like take some things with a grain of salt and don't make it so important about yourself because it's not always about you.
Right. And then my final one is obviously sorry. I have
that's
to.
okay.
We've talked about this at length.
Hog. No, it's good.
With validation, yes.
Yes,
I'm
that's
a
a big one.
validation station. I look for validation everywhere.
Yeah.
But obviously, and we've talked about this a million times, but it's John Candy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's the best.
I Like Me. I don't even have to say any more than that.
I Like Me.
That validates me at least once a week.
We have said John Candy is your life coach and your spirit animal, all those things.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I could be a cold-hearted cynic like you, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings.
Oh.
You think you want what you want. I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. So I say that I'm like Stuart Smalley in the mirror. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me once a week.
Yeah, I know. It's
to,
good
because I'm like, because I have those days where I'm like, I don't like me. Who else? I mean, get in line, me.
There's never a day that I'd think that I don't like you. So just FYI, you're never gonna have to say that to me.
Thank you for validating.
You're welcome. Okay,
next one.
Now
next
this next one is I'm gonna just jump right to it. It's cringe, and I only chose one, Natalie, because I just. How many did you choose?
I only have 2.
Okay, so you do yours first, and then I'll do mine. Then you do yours.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So one, I think it's clear how much I love Jim Carrey in every Jim Carrey movie. So
Yes.
this is from the movie The Cable Guy.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
So it's the morning after they have this, like, it's the morning after Matthew Broderick and Jim Carrey throw this party. Matthew Broderick's going through a bad breakup, right? And Matthew Broderick hooks up with this girl at the party. And the next morning, Jim Carrey's making eggs, and Matthew Broderick comes out, and they're sitting at the breakfast table, and he's like, "I really liked her." He was like,
Yeah.
"Well, it was my pleasure."
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I bought this time, you buy next time." He's like,
Right.
"Are you saying that Heather is a prostitute?" And he's like, "Of course she's a prostitute. Do you think women like that would hang out with us if we weren't paying them?" And he's like, "You're joking." He's like, "Don't worry about it, man. I checked her out about a week ago, and I'm healthy as a horse. And don't hate me for saying this, because I'm healthy as a horse, not a drip."
Oh my God.
And Matthew Broderick, so he's like, "Get out of my house." He's like, "Why are you so upset? I know she was a working girl, but she kind of liked you," and like tries to defend it. But that whole scene is just the reaction on Matthew Broderick's face when he realizes that he had slept with a prostitute and this girl didn't like him.
It is.
That is the cringe. It's just like, ooh, it's like watching The Office. Like your hands.
Oh yeah, your hands are just like, oh no, I gotta watch this through my finger. Yeah, it is the most cringe. So absolutely. Cringe. Okay, so my most cringe, and I think at this point I had to make some tough decisions because there's so many cringe things that like I love that also just make me laugh. So
there
I put one
genres.
for the laughs. I put another cringe one, but this is like the most cringe for me, and I think this is like legit cringe. It's not like cringe that I like to watch. This is like cringe that is legitimately cringy for me, and
I love this.
It's the movie Perfect. It's Jamie Lee Curtis.
That's my second one.
No way. Yes. No way.
It's right here. It's right here.
That's so funny. Me too.
John Travolta and Jamie Lee Curtis workout class scene in Perfect.
Oh my God, me too. That is exactly.
Explain it. Please. Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, so
of course we're so in sync. My God,
we're so in sync. I can't believe we didn't even plan this. Like
what?
So it starts off like with her leotards. Okay, just her leotards. Just right off the bat. Like it's her leotard. So they go up her butt, but she's wearing tights, but like they don't cover anything. Like if she didn't have tights on, like nothing would be covered.
You would see it's the thong leotards.
Yeah, but because it's like a pantyhose under there, like
you see buns.
So there's that
little buns.
It's a little bit, and then I love her. Obviously, I love her. I love her look. I love everything about her. Okay, but this is just. John Travolta is in the doorway. He's watching her do this aerobics class, and he is making eye contact with her. Like the eye contact. I think the thing about this, it's the eye contact.
That's the thing?
Well, that's the first thing. I think that's the anchor of the whole thing is that then he's deciding.
That gets him in the class.
He's going to take her class. They're making eye contact with each other. Then the next thing you know, like they're still making eye contact, and yet their pelvises are like moving and
shorts.
Hips. He's wearing
tight shorts.
Their pelvises and hips are on swivels, going absolutely crazy while they are making legit eye contact. Everybody has seen the gif of John's crotch and his junk absolutely on display in those pair of short cutoff sweat shorts. But people, if you haven't seen this whole scene,
they're air effing from like
they are air effing, and even
30 feet away from each other.
I said, it goes on for so long. I actually timed it. It goes on for 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Like. Seemingly never ends. I thought I was pregnant by the end.
Oh, seemingly never ends. 5 minutes. And what was the song that's playing in the background?
I don't remember what the song is called. I couldn't.
When I listened to like my, I love the bridge and my like slow jam stations, and it came on once, and I immediately was like triggered, and I had to change it. It is
just so.
We have to put that scene on our social media post.
People, if you have not seen this whole entire scene, because a lot of people have seen the GIF.
We would send it back and forth to each other when we were mad at each other.
The GIF or GIF. Is it GIF or GIF?
GIF.
It's a GIF. Anyway, I mean, everybody's seen the GIF because it's been going around the internet for a long time. But you've got to watch the whole scene.
And so much man thigh from John Travolta.
It is. I mean,
his shorts keep bunching up, and it's just like more man thigh and more man thigh every 5 seconds.
But
and
it's also like
5 minute thing.
But he's also like making eye contact and smiling at the same time. Like, hey,
and looking down at his crotch, and then looking back up and looking back down.
He's
feeling himself.
They really they
showed out. You know what, Angela? They showed out.
They went all out. I would love to talk to her about that sometime because it was just insane.
I mean, that'd be the one thing I would ask her about.
Did you cover I mean, did I basically cover it? Like,
Yes.
same elements that you had, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, my
Same.
back's sweating. Ugh.
I know. It's just, it's just absolutely cringe. It's like legit cringe, though.
It's really too much.
Yeah. It's not like the cringe that makes me laugh. It's cringe that makes me absolutely cringe.
Ugh.
Okay.
All right, well, let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's do our to laugh
This is the one that makes me laugh so hard. Like, I played it the other day for myself, and I'm from here on out going to play it every single time I need to laugh because it makes me laugh so hard. So it's Jane Lynch in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh,
when she goes over to Steve Carell's character. He's the 40-year-old virgin, and she's like, how about we become F buddies? And she tells him what an F buddy is. And then she goes, I mean, just look at this spot. I was fully developed by age 12. Can you imagine this body you're looking at?
And she's like, at age 12? Her delivery alone is 40-year-old virgin at all.
And then she goes,
so good.
She goes, lots male attraction from men, especially our Guatemalan gardener, Javier.
Doesn't she start singing a song?
And she goes, you know, Javier, before he made passionate yet gentle love for me for the first time, serenaded me with a beautiful old Guatemalan love song. And then she's like, Cuando mi cuarto no encuentro.
It's so good. It's so good.
And then, like, you find out later, ¿A dónde va con tanta prisa? Al partido de fútbol. And you're just like, it's just
oh my God. That makes me want to rewatch that.
That scene makes me laugh so hard. Like, I don't have to watch any more of that movie, but like, if I put that scene
all of her scenes in there, that one with Paul Rudd where she's like, if you play this song, if you play this Michael McDonald song again, I'm going to Yamo blow my brains out.
No, he's like, Yamo, burn this place to the ground.
Burn this place to the ground or whatever.
And when the Indian guy is like, you're still a virgin. You need to get on that shit. Like, it's just that whole movie is funny.
It's so good.
At the end of that movie where they're like, spread the sunshine. You know, it's just so good. Everybody, if you want a good laugh, 40-year-old virgin, it's extremely raunch, but it's absolutely hilarious.
It's so
What's
good.
your funny?
Well,
what's your funny, honey?
Generally, anything when people fall down for a long time, like overkill, like in Black Sheep or like Chris Farley, and it's like a full minute of people falling down.
Yeah.
Like Mac and Me. And I hate this part, but there's a kid in a wheelchair that is soaring down this hill.
Yeah.
And he goes off a cliff and it's just funny. And he's okay.
Yeah.
But like
he
falling.
Survives. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the other guys with The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson when they're like, aim for the bushes. And they just but honestly, like I watch certain scenes over and over again, and one of them is from Wanderlust. And it's Paul Rudd talking in the mirror.
Natalie.
And I'm not going to get into it. I won't get into it.
You
going to take that?
Mm-hmm.
You going to take that dick. That's as most as I can do. I won't do the rest.
That's as much as you want to do.
It's everybody knows if you haven't seen Wanderlust, you need to watch it. But there's a scene with Paul Rudd and he's talking to himself in the mirror, and it's it will change your life. And then the singing bush in Three Amigos.
Oh my God, Natalie.
Makes me scream, laugh. I just love it. I can't deal with it.
It's too funny.
It's too funny.
It's too funny.
The singing bush kills me.
It's too funny.
Three Amigos. And then This Is 40. Scott reminded me of this. The end of This Is 40. It's like almost outtakes with Melissa McCarthy, and they're in the principal's office.
It is.
And she's like, this is what happens when you corner a rat. You know? And then she talks to the principal. She's like, oh, you know, and she's like, Jill, and your Bob, and your freaking Bob. God, everybody hates you, Jill.
I know.
God.
That movie.
She's like,
those outtakes.
If I married you, I'd kill myself, Jill. She's like, your husband probably fucking killed himself. I know I would. I mean, yeah. Melissa McCarthy, This Is 40, so funny. Yes. I watched that on repeat. I mean, honestly, her in The Heat.
I know.
Anything, Melissa, a lot, like, you know, Bridesmaids can still do this.
Yeah.
Can still do this. You know?
Yes.
Fell down a cruise ship.
Right.
Everything that she does.
Yep.
Those are like kind of my go-tos.
I had to like choose, you know, I was Bridesmaids. Another cringe one was going to be, you know, when she decides that she's getting food poisoning in Bridesmaids. Like, that is cringe and also hilarious at the same time. Like, can't even handle it.
I can't even handle it.
All right. So we have to go on because it's time for us to go to our Pit stop. Woo, woo, woo. So Natalie, I was thinking, since we just are so feeling seen, and since it's a pit stop, did you want to do the pit stop today for us, Natalie? What did you have on your docket for our pit stop today?
Our pit stop today is favorite Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Favorite scenes from Brad Pitt in movies.
Okay, so my have one that I pulled out. I have two, actually. I have two. Oh my God. She's
3, 4.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
So
my favorite first one from Brad Pitt is always going to be the classic. It's always going to be him when he first shows that lovely face of his on Thelma and Louise. And then he's like, ladies, this is a robbery. And he's like putting the hairdryer in his pants. It's
to Geena Davis.
It's never gonna not be like one of my favorite Brad Pitts, just because
that's your favorite?
I love it. I do love it.
I guess that's because that was when he was introduced to you.
Exactly. That's because it was when he was introduced to me. That's one of my favorites.
Got it.
But then I had to really give it some thought. And actually, I like so many scenes. Like, I love Burn After Reading. I have
that on my list.
It's
every
so
scene
funny.
of him in Burn After Reading.
Every single scene of him in that.
He's so funny in that one.
And then I also just had What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? That's from 7.
That's from 7, and that one of my first favorite is from 7. I mean, there's so many of him in 7. That's like my favorite movie of his. But What's in the box is good. But like, my favorite part is after he finds out what's in the box, and he's like, "You tell me she's all right. Tell me she's all right." And Morgan Freeman was like, "You made her vulnerable. It's basically he's like kind of gaslighting him." And he's like, "Oh God, God." And he's got the gun, and he keeps looking at the camera, looking at the screen, and it goes back down, don't shoot him, don't shoot Kevin Spacey. I mean, that was my screensaver for a long time. That face of him, with tears in his eyes. I was like, it's a good looking look. It's a good look. But it was the part where he's like, "Oh God," that one. And then I love his
I
love his speech in Inglourious Basterds.
Oh my God,
where he's
good.
Says his name. He's like, "We're into killing Nazis." That whole monologue that he does.
Yes, that whole monologue was on my list.
And I'm not reenacting it because I'm not good at that accent.
Right, but it is a really, really good one. It's a really, really good one.
And then you said it is really good. That's such a great scene. And you said everything of him in Burn After Reading, hilarious. He was so goofy and he was cringy goofy, which was so funny.
Yes.
And then, I mean, quite frankly, because I love people that fall down all the time. It's funny when things happen, like when Joe Black hit by the car. I mean, come on now.
It comes up all the time.
It's funny. It's ridiculous.
It comes up all the time.
Bing, boo, boo, boo. I mean, he's hit. It's like a ping pong ball.
I know.
It's like what are those games?
Frogger. It's Frogger.
No, where you hit the buttons on the side and you have the metal ball.
Oh, a ping pong.
Pinball machine.
Pinball.
He's pinballed.
He's a
human
pinball.
Like really handsome dude that gets pinballed in this movie. And then that's why it's just one of my favorite. I'm like, the fact that it's Brad Pitt getting pinballed in this movie that I don't understand and I can't get into, it's funny.
It is funny. All right, let's pick one more. Let's pick one more because we don't have much time left, Natalie. We have to wrap her up. But I want you to tell me, what is your scene that absolutely is the one that you feel like, well, I had one. It was called Revenge.
Oh, it's the one you're throwing at me.
I threw a revenge at you, but let me tell you what that one is, and then you pick one more of yours, okay?
Okay.
So my scene where I feel like revenge is absolutely enacted, and I feel so validated, and I feel so good for this character, and I'm just like, that person had that coming to them. They deserved every second of that. And I feel like I am having a catharsis watching this revenge go down, is the scene in The Help where Octavia Spencer brings her a shit pie, and then she goes, she takes a bite of it. Bryce Dallas Powell takes a bite of it, and then she goes, "Eat my shit." And it's like, you're just like, yes! It's because she's been treated so badly.
Yes,
I mean, of course, I would never serve a shit pie to someone, okay?
All right, I understand.
So just in case you're wondering, if you're ever coming over for Thanksgiving or something and you see some pumpkin pie or whatever, it's not chocolate pie or whatever. Just know it's not going to be, okay?
Yeah.
But
it's not to be reenacted.
It's not to be reenacted, but I do have to say that lady 100% deserved that. So,
well, she absolutely did.
She did.
And you know what? That validates me that you said that, because I agree.
Yeah.
I'll do my last one.
Okay.
and it's really sweet.
Oh.
The revenge one for me is the ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which I
Definitely.
won't get into, but you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's the way it should have
Because I'm
gone.
like, that's the way it should have been, and
Yep,
that's amazing.
for sure. Yes.
I will do I'm gonna do 2 real quick because I
Okay.
don't wanna I have a swoon
Oh,
one,
I forgot about my swoon. Yes, go ahead. Go
but
ahead.
it's the dad speech at the end of Call Me by Your Name, which is it's like called Don't Kill It, and it's
Oh,
when
yeah.
Timothy Chalamet's had his first heartbreak it's like his rite of passage, and his
Yes.
dad has this amazing talk with him, and it's about like, feel your feelings. It's called Don't Kill It.
Mm.
That speech makes me just like that. I think that's such a swoon. It makes me swoon. It's not romantic. It's not, but it's like this swoony moment in my head. And like, I think a lot of moments are not, when you swoon over something, I don't think it has to be like
romantic necessarily.
romantic. No, I think that you can swoon over like wonderful things.
Or great brain. Yeah.
Great brains. Yes.
Yeah.
And this
great
speech
talent. Yeah.
that this father had with his son about love.
Mm-hmm.
And in the 90s, like it's supposed to be in the 90s, like, or late 80s, like it was just like a complicated time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that, I mean, honestly, I can watch that over and over again, like, and it just I melt.
Yeah, and you just go, oh my God.
It's so good.
So
it's
good.
So
yes.
good.
Yes.
Yeah. That
I just remembered I have another swoon. I forgot.
Oh, do a swoon real quick.
Okay. So this one is kind of the first time that Ryan Gosling like really got put on my map. Like when I first really, really noticed him. And it's in Crazy Stupid Love. And he brings Emma Stone back to his house. And she's like, okay, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be I'm not PG-13 anymore. I'm going to be rated R. And she's like telling him, she's like, okay, we're going to bone. I'm going to bone the hot. She's like, I'm going to bang. We're going to bang. And she's like, well, what's your big move? And he's like, and it's pouring rain. And he makes her, first of all, he makes her an old fashioned. And it's just like, what? And it's just like this whole thing. She downs it. And then she's like, what's your big move? And he's like, well, I usually bring up Dirty Dancing. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it though. And she's like, no, come on, do it. He's like, I don't think you're ready. Like, you can't handle it, you know? And she's like, come on, man, just do it. So he takes off his shirt and she looks at him and she goes, seriously? Yeah. It's like you're photoshopped. And you really are like swooning. Because his
spray tan is fresh.
It is fresh. And so
he was airbrushed.
In
real life.
And he's like, and then, you know, I do the Dirty Dancing lift. I can do the lift. And so I watched the scene the other day. I was like, oh my God, this really is like swoon. Like, wow, he really does do the lift. And it really is sweet. And then the next thing you know, she's like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have to go to bed now. She's like, it's not going to work on me. And he's like, it's going to work. It's going to work. And it did. Yeah.
And I
thought it was pretty cute.
I love their chemistry together.
I do too.
I think them in movies together, swoony. I like them together.
I do too. And then the other swoon for me was Harrison Ford in Witness, of course, like dancing to Don't Know Much About History. I mean, people
that is so
just go watch that episode. That movie. Go watch that scene.
That is so good.
So
he's
good.
He's dressed like he's in Amish clothes.
I know. It's very swoon. But I mean, there's really so many swoons. I mean, I could go on.
Swoons. There's like all kinds of swoons.
Major swoons.
But I do want to say before we have to wrap this episode up, because I know we're going over. But I have a best friend scene.
Oh, yeah.
And I want us to do that because we're best friends.
Oh, yes.
But Thelma and Louise, not when they drive off the cliff, but when they realize they can never go back.
Yep.
And they look at each other like, whatever we have to do, it's us. So we'll figure it out together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Sex and the City movie, when Mr. Big doesn't show up at the altar and he sees her outside. This is the scene that me and Penelope saw being filmed, remember, in Bryant Park?
Oh, yes.
At the library.
Yes.
And she hits him with the flowers.
Yes.
And he tries to get her, and she hugs Charlotte, and Sarah Jessica hugs Charlotte, and Charlotte yells at me. She's like, no! Like, to get away from her, like, no! Like, just so protective, like, no, you are not coming near her again, you know?
Yes.
That, and then obviously Romy and Michelle's high school reunion movie, the dance sequence with Ellen Cummings at the end.
So
those are my favorite best friends. Like,
I love those little best friend movies.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a fun little review, Natalie.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many movies.
Way better than I thought.
We make so many movies we could talk about with so many categories on I feel seen, but they really do make me feel seen. Like, they got me when they made this film. When they made this scene, they understood that was going to cringe me out. They understood that was going to freak me out. They understood that was going to make me swoon. All those things. So everybody,
they succeeded in each thing they were trying to do.
And everybody, just if you're listening, just you know what, go watch that scene from Perfect, or better yet, watch the whole movie Perfect, and let us know what you think. Okay,
don't waste people's time.
Terrible. I know it's
just
awful.
YouTube
the scene. Yeah,
from the movie Perfect.
Yeah, okay? And you won't be disappointed.
And you know what? Actually, you don't have to. We're going to do it for you.
We are. We're going to post it.
We're going to put it on our post.
We are.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
You're welcome. So, Natalie, to you, I have to say, it has been wonderful chatting with you today. I hope you've also had a lovely time.
I had a wonderful time.
Okay. And to you, I want to say, namaste, feeling seen by you.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Namaste. Mm. 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 All up in your...
Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.